Yo guys, what is good? Zakaraki back at it again, and today we have a performance review for the series player only Player 1 2023. So without further ado, let's get straight into the review. And starting with traction, I definitely had a couple of issues with this setup, which I'll get into more later on in the video, but starting with the good stuff, on clean courts, these things worked great. Just went out there and did my thing, but when it came to dusty courts, this is where I would have problems because dust really gets clogged up in between the grooves of the pattern. I think if the shoes didn't have these little nubs in between the herringbone grooves, that it would be better on dusty courts because it wouldn't get clogged up as much in this tight pattern. But I also had another issue with the traction, which I mainly experienced on dirtier courts, but did have it happen to me on clean courts as well sometimes. So let's say, for example, I got the ball, I'm going straight at my defender as fast as I can, and I want to make a stop on the dime move to create some separation. So on that move, when I plant that foot hard to kill all of my momentum and speed, the shoes would give out because it couldn't take the momentum that I'm going with and stopping with. So this wouldn't happen consistently, but it happened often enough for me to bring it up to you guys. So I got two main reasons why this might be the case. So reason number one being that this traction setup right here, the rubber used is just too damn soft and pliable. Like guys, you can literally hear me moving the rubber so easily, and it feels so soft to the touch. Like I feel like, just given how soft it is, that it can't handle the momentum and force that I'm putting on it on these hard stops. So if it was maybe a little more rigid, more stiff, that it'd be able to take that momentum better. So the second reason why I think that this traction is giving out on hard stops is because of the durability of it. So I'm really looking at the pattern right now, and I'm seeing a lot of spots that have begun to wear out or started fraying already, and it's a little bit concerning to me because I actually didn't wear these outdoors whatsoever. I've been playing with these indoors only, so maybe these things are wearing out faster than I think, and every time I step on the court, every time I do another hard cut, these things are just wearing out more and more and losing its grip. So that's a bit of a bummer, but all in all, I do think the traction, when it's fresh and new and whatnot, is great on clean courts, but could be a bit better on dusty courts. But as long as you keep up with wiping and you're a little bit careful on your movements, you should be good to go with these. Now onto the cushioning setup, and it was just so damn good, guys. Like this thing performed so well that it's become one of my favorite cushioning setups I've played in out of all the shoes I've tested out this year so far. It's not too low to the ground, so you still have good court feel, but due to it having 3 layers of foam in the heel and forefoot, it gave the shoes great impact protection as well as great responsiveness as well. So if you love playing the Kobe models like the Kobe 8, 9, or 11, or any Kobe model that featured a drop-in midsole, you're gonna love playing in the series player only Player 1 because the cushioning setup gives you that same feeling, but just much better in my opinion. Like look at this thing, guys. This thing is beefed up, it's awesome. You still get that great court feel without sacrificing impact protection. And look guys, 3 layers of foam on the forefoot and the heel. Like you can really feel it when you press down on it, and it's just great. So another good thing about this drop-in midsole is that it has a lifted arch, so for all you guys that have arch support problems, this could also be beneficial for you. And another really good thing, or minor good thing I should say, about the cushioning setup is that they do include this little foam insole that you actually put under the drop-in midsole, so you don't really notice it when it's on foot. It's sort of one of these things that acts and does its job in the background, so it adds a slightly better level of impact protection. So I use these, and I mean, honestly, I didn't really feel it like I said before, but obviously I know that this little extra piece of thin foam is doing its job and just absorbing more shock every time I jump or move on the court. The materials on these shoes are great. They didn't need any break-in time, which was awesome, and I really like how sturdy the plastic fused piece is on the toe area because it really adds to the durability of the shoe. And like I mentioned before in my initial review for the Player 1, The materials I feel like are a step above what the Kobe models did with their Flyknit material. Because the Flyknit used on the Player 1, or what the brand refers to it as TPU mesh fabric, really reminds me of the Flyknit used on the Kobe AD360 NXT. I think that's the name for it. It's the shoe that has your foot completely wrapped in Flyknit and just has a rubber outsole attached to it. So that shoe was great, but the one thing I didn't like about it was how the Flyknit felt, because it didn't really feel as supportive and durable and sturdy and secure as the Flyknit used on the Player 1 right here. Like when I wore that AD360 NXT, I felt like my foot could break out of the shoe at any given moment, whereas with these guys, I feel like I can beat these to hell and they're just gonna hold up and be awesome on court. So that's one thing I feel like makes these better than the Kobe stuff. And another thing I do like about the materials is actually the tongue used right here. So it really reminds me of the Nike Torch stuff that's used on the Kobe 5 and 6, for example, because it gives you good ventilation, but also relieves lace pressure very well also. Moving along, the lockdown and support really reminded me of the Kobe 8, especially being that the heel clip and carbon fiber shank plate are pretty much the same as the Kobe 8s, so it worked really well in supporting my foot through all types of movements. And along with adding support to the shoe, the carbon fiber plate does a great job of adding more spring to your step, as well as propelling you forward on each step that you take as well. So another great feature about the support pieces have to do with the midsole design combined with the drop-in midsole as well. So as you can see here, the walls of the drop-in midsole rise up pretty high and your foot sits directly inside of it, and it helps to cradle your foot inside there to really make sure that it's nice and supported in there. And then combined with the midsole design itself outside of the shoe, as you can see right here, it kind of rides up higher, also providing another wall for your foot to be supported on all types of lateral movements. And the new updated lacing system does an amazing job of locking my foot into place and making sure it's secure and not moving inside the shoe. So it actually does almost too good of a job, to the point where I actually don't lace these up all the way to the top eyelet. I actually go to the third highest eyelet, and that's enough for me and what works best for me. So this thing is awesome, guys. You can really customize the fit of the shoe using the new lacing system, which is what they were promoting when it came to this new updated version. And with the lockdown with the shoe, it really adds the overall support of the shoe as well. Now, when it comes to the fit of the shoe, it's a really one-to-one, tight, snug, narrow, glove-like fit. So the website actually recommends you go a half size up because of that. So I went from my normal size 10 to a size 10.5. And personally, I don't like how glove-like the shoe is and how narrow it is, because I feel like my toes are being bunched up together and squished together. Like, look how narrow the toe box is right there. It really just mangles up my toes and puts them all in a straight jacket, and I don't like that. I like having a little bit more space in the toe area so that my dogs can breathe a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So I personally would have liked it if there was a little more space, a little bit more width on the shoe, because I personally don't have a super wide foot either. It's a pretty normal width-wise foot, so these things are just not for me. If you do have a super narrow foot, I think these will be great, but if you do have a wider foot, I wouldn't recommend these, because these things would just kill your foot on the sides and as well as the toe box area as well. But that is it for today's review, guys. This is my first time doing a full-length performance review, so I hope you guys found some value from that. So if you want to see more of these, comment down below and let me know what shoes you want to see next. But I'm signing out for today, guys. Peace.